So the IRS income tax refund calendar has been leaked. So the question is, when is your payday? Now let's give credit where it's due. This came from the Practice Advisor CPA page. It's a vetted platform, and I wanted to give you nothing but the goods and give you something that you can really use to your advantage to understand in this tax season, because a lot of things are happening, a lot of changes are happening, and you need to know when can you expect your refund. So that's what you're here to do. So let's dive straight in. So the IRS income tax refund schedule for 2025, and the question is, could IRS layoffs delay tax refunds? So let's dive straight in. Tax season has just begun, but it may be about to get more difficult for taxpayers and tax preparers such as CPAs and accountants. The move could also delay income tax refund, and we don't want that, but we at least want you to be aware. The IRS started accepting income tax returns on January 27, which means tax filing season is officially upon us. And while most people say they hate doing their taxes, you can bet your bottom dollar most Americans look forward to getting their tax refunds. And I know this to be true, and I'm sure you know it to be true as well. But if you're wondering how long it may take to get your refund when you finally submit your income tax return, you're one of many. For almost 15 years, the question that they've gotten most is, when will I get my tax refund? And nobody can give you an exact answer, especially this far out. However, based on some good factors, they can give you a pretty good estimate, and I'll show you exactly what that estimate looks like when I scroll down so you can see the calendar, get your screenshot, share this with somebody who you feel may benefit. If you need assistance with tax preparation and you're not trying to get overcharged on fees, you want to maximize your refund and legally minimize the amount of taxes that you may owe, it'll be a link available below. So right now, you want to know, when can you expect to get your tax refund? Well, first, keep in mind that you need to wait to file until you receive all of your tax forms from your employer, as well as colleges, mortgages, or other documents. Because if you don't have all your documents, it's a fact that you're probably going to leave some money on the table in most cases. So don't just rush and do it just because your tax preparer is trying to rush you to do it. So many times tax preparers are trying to secure a client, and they have people just submitting their final check stub and just saying, hey, I can file your taxes. They're trying to get you as a client, but they're not considering you as a client by making sure you have all of your documents. Otherwise, you wind up leaving money on the table, and that's not what we're here to do. Let's keep going. If you have complex finances, got married or divorced, had a child, retired, bought or sold a home, owned crypto or foreign assets, those will make things a little more complex. And in these situations, you should definitely seek advice from a tax professional. I got a link down below that can connect you to some tax pros that understand the game and know how to get the most out of this situation for you. That being said, we don't want you to, run the risk of just getting a tax preparer who doesn't understand the tax code. Many people are set up in different areas inside stores. I'm sure you've seen them, and they themselves don't understand the tax code. So you probably shouldn't trust them with your taxes. Nothing against them. They're trying to make money. They're doing it as an employee, but you would rather want a practitioner of the craft of taxes versus just somebody who's filing taxes to get paid. It's a big difference in the two. And just understanding how to comply with tax laws, and also taking advantage of newer or lesser known tax deductions and credits that can benefit you. But most Americans have pretty simple tax returns, and that's most people. But a job or two, a W-2 may be a side gig, some child tax credits, maybe a mortgage, a few minor additions. Basically, those are the basic things. And if that fits you, then, our link below can help you as well. So let's keep going. If you have multiple forms of income or certain assets or certain family situations, you will likely have to wait a bit longer for all of your tax documents to come in before you are able to file. It's mid-February, so a lot of people have received those documents, but wait until I show you the dates at the end so you can understand when you're likely to get yours. So it removes some of the guesswork. It's not going to be exact, but it's a great estimate based on certain factors. So in particular, taxpayers might have to wait a little longer if they have earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and a few other credits that require confirmation. They just got to confirm it, because so many times people, falsely submit information and do it in a way that if they don't confirm it, then it puts them in a later predicament, and money is issued out that shouldn't have been issued out. So I'm sure you can understand that to a degree. So here's the chart you were looking for. If the IRS announces any changes to tax law or potential date changes, then we'll give an update, so that way you can come watch the next video, see what changes have been made, and you can adjust accordingly. But this is only an estimate if or of when you expect your refund. So do not take these dates as exact predictions. All your taxpayers have different tax returns, documents, incomes, and other situations, note that the first column is when the IRS accepts your return. Not just when you file, but when the IRS accepts your return. That's very important to know, which can be 2 to 3 days after the day you actually submitted it electronically. And the IRS will notify you of the actual date on which the agency accepted your return, usually by text or email. Mailing in a paper return can result in 3 to 4 weeks extra delay at the beginning of the process, since the IRS will need to enter it into their computer systems manually. So filing electronically does speed up the process. If you're doing a paper route, then just make sure that you understand that it's a bigger delay based on those reasons. So here's the chart that you've been waiting for. Get ready to take your screenshots and share this with somebody else who you feel may benefit. If you need assistance with taking your, getting your tax preparation taken care of with experts without being overcharged fees, and you want to maximize your refund legally, then the link is available below. So let's scroll down. Now, if the IRS accepts your e-file return by the dates on the left, then that's what applies to the date on the right. Then direct deposit refund may be received as early as 10 days after e-file accepted, e-file but paper check mailed approximately 1 week after that. So the IRS started accepting returns on January 27th. So in that example, say you got your returns accepted January 27th, the expected date is February 7th. Or February 14th, based on what the asterisks say. And I'll scroll back up. I just want you to see what those asterisks represent. If it's 2 asterisks, that means that the returns, they may have had earned income tax credit or child tax credit, and they may have refunds delayed until March to verify credits. If it's 3 asterisks, that just basically means filing during peak season, late March through April 15th, can result in slightly longer waits just due to the traffic alone. So let's look back at the dates. And February 3rd, if you were accepted by then you can expect February 14th or the 21st, based on if you had those credits. February 10th, then you can expect February 21st or the 28th. February 17th, you can expect February 28th or March 7th. February 24th, you can expect March 7th or March 14th. March 3rd acceptance, you can expect March 14th or March 21st. March 10th acceptance, you can expect March 21st or March 28th. And you see the dates. I don't have to keep saying them, but if you look where it says accepted on March 24th, that's where those 3 asterisks kick in, and that's when it's usually higher traffic, a higher rush, because people are trying to submit before April 15th. And as you see, it's asterisks all the way down leading up to April 14th. And if you file on that date, then you can likely expect your return on April 25th or May 2nd, all depending on when you filed, the traffic, and those factors. So these are the asterisks as I mentioned. Now, down here, it goes in a little bit deeper to talk about if a person files after the date, because say, for example, they just filed late or they got an extension. And when you get an extension, you're able to file it a few months later. So here are the dates for that as well. Take a screenshot on this, especially if you're one of the ones who like to file late. Some people prefer to do that just based on their preference. To each his own. But this is represents the dates for that. So if the IRS accepts your return by April 21st, then May 2nd, May 9th. If it's April 28th acceptance, May 9th, May 16th. If it's May 5th acceptance, May 16th or May 23rd. If it's May 12th acceptance, May 23rd or May 30th. If it's May 19th acceptance, then May 30th up to the June 6th. Now, these are not exact dates. Everybody's situation is totally different, but this at least gives you an idea of what to expect based on your situation. And then if it's anything off from this or later than this, then that's when you can tap into using the IRS. Where's my refund? Having your account set up, as I talked about in previous videos. That way you have a direct access point to the IRS and you can get information without having to hop on the phone and take a long time to get, the information that you need. Pretty much what it says right here. So if your IRS income tax refund is delayed after you file, ask your tax professional or simply use the Where's My Refund tool on the IRS website to check the status of your refund, or you can download the IRS To Go app to check your refund status. It's a good idea to e-file your tax return as soon as you have all of your tax documents. Emphasis on having all of your tax documents so that way you're not leaving money on the table unnecessarily. So, like your W-2s, your 1099s, mortgage, and student loan interest, and other items, as e-filing generally ensures a faster turnaround time. Several factors can determine when a taxpayer might receive his or her tax refund, including how early the tax return is filed, if the taxpayer is claiming certain credits, especially earned income tax credit or child tax credit, whether the return is e-filed or sent by mail, whether the taxpayer has existing debts to the federal government, because this is important. Sometimes a person may have existing debts, and as a result, they may not get a return because they owe it to, you know, the IRS or the government, and it gets confiscated for that reason. So that's very important to know for you, as well as anybody who may be preparing your taxes who did not know you had a debt that you owe. So be safe, hire a professional out here. It's a link below that can tap you into our professionals that can help you take the stress that comes along with filing your taxes. You can just say, hey, here are all my documents, this is what I got, and submit it to them, and then they ask you the right qualifying questions that can determine whether or not you can maximize your refund even further. Because if they're not asking you questions to see certain things that may have taken place last year that can benefit you this year, then they're not doing their job appropriately. And if they're not doing their job appropriately, then you might want to fire them and hire somebody who understands the tax code and is not afraid to apply the tax code in a way that best benefits who? You. Signing out. So